No one can deny that calculus is one of the greatest inventions of human intelligence. Calculus appears to be everywhere in today's world of modern science and technology, from economics, engineering to daily life movements. However, as students, we rarely know about the long-standing origins of this field, and this video is for viewers to gain knowledge about the formation of calculus through the stories of ancient founders, the contribution of Isaac Newton and Gottfried Leibniz, who are considered the fathers of calculus. The essential of calculus can be traced back to the Moscow papyrus around 1800 BC, when an Egyptian successfully calculated the volume of a pyramidal frustum. Besides, ancient mathematicians left behind some problems like the Zeno paradox, which state, in a race, the quickest runner can never overtake the slowest, since the pursuer must first reach the point where the pursuit started, so that the slower must always hold a lead. From the school of Greek mathematics, Eudoxus used the method of exhaustion, prefiguring the concept of the limit, to calculate areas and volume. Archimedes developed this idea further, inventing heuristic, which resemble integral calculus. From the 3rd to 5th century, the method was further used by Liu Hui and Zhu Chongzi in order to find the area of the circle and also the volume of a sphere. Then, in medieval, Alhazen, an 11th century Arab mathematician, developed a formula for the sum of the fourth powers. He utilized the result to perform what is known as an integration, which allowed him to compute the volume of a paraboloid. Despite the significance in calculus in early modern times, they were unable to connect ideas and make calculus a powerful science we have today. Therefore, in the next period of time, many scientists focused on the calculus field to develop new things. Typically, Newton and Leibniz in developing theories around infinitesimal calculus. Firstly, let's talk about Isaac Newton. He was a popular physicist, mathematician, and cosmologist in the 17th century. He was mostly known for defining the laws of motion and universal gravitation, which are directly linked to his revelation in calculus. He started by trying to describe the falling speed of an object, saw that it grows by each second, but there was no existing model that could explain the rate of change or movement problems. That's where he found calculus to examine the motion and magnitudes of real-life objects, and also to prove his popular theories later on. As a mathematician, Newton's greatest achievement is the formulation of fluxional calculus, addressing Fluxion and fluence, which are his own term of derivative and integral. He first laid his work by developing the binomial theorem, which was used to expand the exponential expression of a sum. He also proved the power rule and the quotient rule, which are very useful in modern calculus. Next, Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz is a German polymath who was a mathematician, philosopher, scientist, and diplomat. He is one of the most notable figures in not only the history of philosophy, but also the history of mathematics. As a mathematician, his greatest achievement was the development of differential and integral calculus, in which he worked independently. Like Newton, Leibniz saw the tangent as a ratio, but considered it as a simply ratio between ordinates and abscissas. He continued this reasoning to argue that integral was the sum of an infinite number of rectangles. Based on this definition of the inverse relationship, Leibniz quickly realized the potential to form a new system of calculus. He also used the symbols dx and dy to represent infinitely small increments of x and y, just as delta x and delta y for finite increments. He also used the symbol integral based on the Latin word summa and the letter d, the first letter of the Latin word differentia, to indicate this inverse operation. Thanks to the mentioned discoveries, we can now better understand what we, as modern scholars, are learning. All the aspects of history of calculus have not been examined in our study, but the comparison between various narratives have been done. And through the analysis of the birth of calculus, the ancient founders, the Leibniz-Newton relationship, Our study hopes that you will have a better understanding of how mathematics and history are intertwined and how they might be used to tackle future problems, because history is the foundation of mathematics study.